Hey, hi everyone. Good afternoon. Post lunch, but I think still a great time to talk about a lot of interesting conversations, right? So I have a great panel here. GBS, I've known someone for last 10 years. He's Chief Business Officer at HIPPY, right? Devesh handles a very important product at HT Media, which is one of the largest media group, which is their customer data platform or what they call as HT1 audience. And Harish brings insights from the agency world where he's EVP at Interactive Avenues, part of IPG Media Brands, right? So I'll probably start the conversation with GBS, right? And the whole concept of this session is to just bring out for publishers today, right, that is it even possible to scale your revenues? Obviously, in a personal and professional capacity, we have seen and done umpteen number of times in the past. But we just want to start with GBS, who is leading Hippie today, right? That what are the challenges that he has seen Hippie as an app, which is an entertainment, content, social app, and different things that they have tried, and how does ad monetization really fit in? GBS to you. Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you the audience a bit of context. We did a startup, in fact, I did a startup called Charmboard before it merged with Hippie, which is a short video platform of Z5. Now, in Charmboard, we had what we call contextual commerce ads. What does contextual commerce ads really mean? It effectively meant that if you watched a video and you and your eye caught on something interesting within a video, we could actually potentially show you where to buy what you saw in the video. And that could come from the catalog of any of the clients who would work with us, potentially from brands who have visually appealing products which can be seen in a video. Like, for example, just to give an example, if there is a certain outfit or certain makeup or certain thing being seen in the video, and a customer wants to know, where to buy it and where to find it, he's potentially simply touch it and say, okay, this is available from this particular brand. Now, this, of course, is a very powerful form of advertising. Our results showed about 600 times better CTRs and recall. But to sell it had been hard. Because when we started to sell it, and I was joking with my co-panelist from Interactive Avenues, that our sales team went and showed them what the product is. After listening to the pitch, they would ask, okay, so is it a banner? No. Is it a video ad? No. Is it an interstitial ad? No. So what actually it meant was that for a normal planner who's taking these day-to-day decisions, essentially the life starts with the banner and perhaps ends with the video. And everything else which is new, which may be potentially very big, gets a skip. Because who in the sane mind would want to now take questions from a client who will also ask, what is this? Is it a banner? Is it an interstitial? Is it a video? And who wants to take questions? So I'm very happy going with Google, Facebook. No questions asked. Plans get approved. I deliver. Thank you very much. So we started like that, and then we realized that if we were to succeed, we have to go to the client. And we started going to the clients. It's a difficult iron fence to reach the client. But once we reach the client, and clients tend to agree that, yes, we have something more powerful, he would then go and tell agency to go try us. And so far, so good. We've never actually lost a client ever since a client trusted us.
Okay.
Right? Now, so our path has been arduous, but fulfilling, because it does something fundamentally new and different. And innovation, as you know, is hard.
Got it. In fact, I think of all the apps that I have scanned and I've seen in this industry, Hippie is the only one who does the charm concept of identifying products from the video. There's no one, at least in India, and I think abroad also not too many players have been able to crack it. So finally, have you found the balance between, or has the traditional ads now also helping you convince advertisers to try that format as well?
Yes. So considering that after we got acquired by Z, our scale went up.
Okay.
And at that scale, it wasn't also very scalable to go meet every client, right? As I said, clients also don't meet the teams every day because they feel the agencies need to do. But in our case, we had to convince the client first before the agency to try
Got it.
So we said, let's also start to do things for which there is an automatic demand
Okay.
that no one questions. So even if they make a plan for a banner, who will question a banner?
Yeah.
So we made spaces, and I hated myself, but we made spaces for banners. We made spaces for what they wanted to put, and that's how currently we do both direct, contextual commerce ads, but also normal ads for which there is
More
unlimited
demand.
demand.
Okay.
Easy to sell. It doesn't perform for anyone. Doesn't perform to us for us. But if there is demand, who am I to say no?
Okay. And how easy or difficult it has been to be able to integrate, or do you still find it's a complicated ecosystem?
It's a very complicated ecosystem. So, in my building process, when I was building and I said, okay, let's do programmatic, it will be practically very simple. Everyone says use Google Ad Manager and it'll all work. I said to the team, Google Ad Manager, it'll work automatically. There is nothing else. Everything else you build is great. Google Ad Manager is another yet tool from Google, just like Gmail, that you will use and it'll start to work. But it doesn't work like that.
Okay.
I think it takes enormous work from someone who understands this and has developed this knowledge over last many years of having worked with Google Ad Manager to get something real out of it. Right? You can make tiny bit of money, but if you want real money out of it, then you need someone with experience, someone who knows his job, to actually work with you to make something happen out of it. If you are able to get Google Ads, your next challenge is how about Facebook ads?
Got it.
Once you fix Facebook, how about
How do you scale from there?
Permatic?
Yeah.
How about in Mobi? And every another channel is a challenge. It's not so simple
Got it.
to do that, and I believe you need external help of someone who do this for their bread and butter
Got it.
to scale it, or I would say, as this title says, hyperscale it.
Got it. Great. Thanks, GBS. Over to you, Devesh, right? I mean, GBS perspective was more from an app. And then Devesh today is leading a very important project, what they internally call HT1 audience at Hindustan Times Group, right? Or to simplify for the audience, basically customer data platform, right? So Devesh, why is it critical for Hindustan Times? And then what is the outcome like today?
Okay, so I think I'll first want to highlight the scale that we operate on. So there are more than 15, 18 domains that Hindustan Times has. So we have 200 million monthly active users. And if you just talk about impressions, there are more than 2 billion impressions that we serve via GAM currently in a month, right? So all the publishers that you see right now, at least for the time being, are dependent on third-party audiences. Right, that's the core. And with cookies deprecating, it was imperative that we start building our own first-party audience system.
Got it.
So that's how we started this journey around 3-4 years back. I think right now, where we are at, we have our own in-house audiences, more than 1,500, 1,700 audiences predefined, which are segmented by demography, age, gender, affluence levels, their interest in market segments and all. So I think it's going forward as and when the cookie deprecates, and as people move more towards the performance ecosystem, people want to see more results, the clients want to see more results, we'll have to move towards the targeted audience and build first party audiences. So that's one, but I think overall in terms of challenges, I think there are a lot of challenges across the stages. So right from when the sales clients go out and they want forecasts of the audience. So you need something. How do I tell them how many impressions will I be able to deliver on GAM, right? When there are so many other campaigns running in parallel. So you need somebody who can dig those GAM APIs and tell the forecast in real time to the sales guys. So they can tell the clients that this is the forecast which they see. Once the order has been punched in, right? Now you need to automate. So at a scale of HT, you don't have 10, 20 orders. We are looking at more than 100, 200 orders in a month. So the entire system of booking the orders right from the CRM systems to the CAM needs to be automated.
Okay.
Right, so that's another challenge again. Somebody who has that kind of a technical expertise will definitely be able to help. We have our impression trackers, click trackers in place for all the ad units, all the creatives. Again, if you just go by the GAM visual interface, there is a provision of single interface. But how do you enable your ad ops to quickly enable more and more such
Got
targeting
it.
pieces?
No, just in the interest of honesty, Devesh has been one of our first clients, and he's one example of co-building the product with a client, right? For last 2 years, we have been doing that. But whenever, let's say, we go out to the market and try and talk to large publishers, somehow, even today, everybody is living in denial, right? Largest of the publishers, they don't have a audience strategy. There is no proper customer data platform in place, right? So why is that, right? I mean, from your experience, what is it that they should be doing? Is it the challenge that you mentioned about is what holding them back? They don't really understand, or they're happy with the programmatic revenues, or what is it?
Uh, I think it's a deep tech, right? So
Okay.
you hire digital product people. Digital product can be divided into multiple facets. You are people who know user experience. There are people who know data. There are people who know AI. There are people who know ad tech. Now, for this kind of an ecosystem to work, you need somebody who knows all, maybe in
Okay.
bits and pieces, but somebody who's able to link them together. So that's one core area where I think the effort right now is there, but we have very less few people in that domain. So it's deep tech. That is what I will kind of simplify my words.
Okay.
That's the best thing I'll want to say. If you get the right partner,
Okay.
if you have somebody who can educate you about the GAM APIs, not just the visual interface or the Facebook APIs, I think the overall process becomes simpler. It becomes easier and quicker, and you have somebody with you who can handhold you whenever you are stuck. And
Got it.
given that, club that with the INP related things, where Google is also wanting you to lessen your page load times and other things, right, for the SEO
Yeah.
perspective. So yeah, so I think that's the core. Yeah.
Okay, but maybe just to simplify, and if you can, without sharing actual numbers, does this strategy has helped increase the share of direct? Don't give an actual number, but in terms of X, has it become 2X, 3X over last 2, 3 years?
I will not say no. I think if you just compare direct audience versus direct audience, there has been more than 10x, 20x increase. But
Okay.
if you talk about a proportion of direct, like of the overall direct revenue, what percentage is audience revenue? It's still a smaller percentage because a lot of effort still goes to convince sales. Because now they are selling audiences to clients who are not used to buying audiences.
Okay.
And obviously there are questions related to performance, right? So for a publisher, it's all the more, it's a different line altogether.
Okay.
But yeah, I think the growth has been significant. And if you just compare audience to audience, it's more than 10x.
Got it. So to that, I'll hold this point of yours to Harish, right? Since he said people don't really understand audience and buying, and Harish is the one who is leading a lot of efforts at interactive revenues. Harish, I'm sure you interacted with GBS just before the event as well, right? How does an app and publishers really tap into both the brand and performance money flowing through agencies, right? What is it that they need to do, or to put it right, what is the challenge that you see?
See, most importantly, I think most importantly, when a planner is planning for a specific brand, right, there are a certain set of objectives that they look for, and from a business standpoint, and from a partner standpoint, they have a different set of expectation, right? Whether you have the right fit of audience, whether there is the right technology in place for us to do any kind of buying, whether your platform is efficient in terms of pricing and in terms of formats, right? And the last piece is transparency. See, most of the platforms today claim like numbers which are unheard of, and when you actually get down to implementation is when you realize you can't actually achieve the scale that you're looking for to build on your campaigns. So these are 4 pillars under which we kind of work with most of the partners. In fact, we've started an initiative called as the MRI, that is the Media Responsibility Index, where we are pushing most of our partners to sign up for. And it's basically opening up and talking about clearly what you have, and basis which is what the planners start planning. Okay. There are budgets where you kind of try and see how is it you can build an innovation kitty, and that's where platforms like Hippie and all of them step in, right? That's because it's not a regular line item plan that you typically look for. This needs to be sustained over a period of time, and it needs to be innovative enough. It can't be the same thing going on and on. So these are certain pillars you typically look for when you're planning, and we're more than happy. Direct banners, integrations, we are waiting, we are hungry for opportunities. And it's just that we need the partner also along with us to kind of go and do the sell. That's because the client always wants to be reassured whether the money that is investing in any platform, is it giving them the bang for the buck that they are investing.
So I remember one of our conversation long back with you, Harish, right? Um, so who should take a step forward, right? Is it the publishers who should make their data more accessible for media planning? Because today I've been obviously part of multiple publishers, right? Large scale ones as well, and everybody just publishes some number on Excel sheet or their roadshow presentations. But is it the agencies and the advertiser expecting to be more honest and transparent and make the data available for you to understand? Or is it like your clients should kind of give out something more in detail campaign planning to these publishers to make it work? Like, how should it be?
See, a lot of platforms today have started sharing numbers in terms of reach that they can deliver, right? While there are third-party syndicated platforms that give you an understanding about what's the kind of reach or time spent the platform has, but all of them cover only a fraction of the entire universe. I mean, most of the platforms don't report 100% of the digital audience that's available. So no one is actually putting time and energy to extrapolate that numbers. So it is better that the numbers come from platforms, so that planning becomes more efficient. And platforms also need to understand at the end of the day, what is it that the client is chasing in terms of business objective, right? If the business outcome is not something which is achieved out of the investment, then they kind of shy away from doing all of these things. Yeah, subsequent activities. So it's better to kind of work more together and see how is it that we could deliver the right value for the clients.
I'll maybe let you answer this point of Harish, right? Like, how is it possible for, let's say, since you are leading it at Hippie, right? Can we bridge this gap? Is it possible? Can the apps and publishers be more transparent?
Well, I can say only for our app. I mean, we are
sure.
as transparent as any app could be. The data that we provide is in sync with the data provided by the best of class in the world. And I said, once the client starts to use us,
This is
and
the
I
quality.
said, getting to that stage is tough because it takes long time for anything which is new. We've never had a client which actually says, I've done enough with you and I have no budget. All the questions about having no budget, etc., were before they tried us first. Before they first chose us, they never had a budget.
Okay.
After they chose us, they always had a budget. So, but that process is non-scalable, right? Going to client by client, client by client, client by. And that's where the agencies have to play a role. And, and that's where, our discussion before we came in here, that there needs to be a system that once we've proven, at least then it should scale.
Okay.
But I think what happens that you've proven it with one client, now prove with second, prove with third, prove with fourth. That is non-scalable. And that's what brought us to programmatic.
Got it.
Right? As I said, I hate it.
We all hate it.
I don't want to see it. I've never myself in my life bought anything on a banner ad by clicking on a banner ad. But the world loves it. So I provide it. But I wish there was a better method, which we offer, but it's, as I said, it takes long time,
That whole
to roll it out to, for for a brave client to say that I'll put my first 10 lakhs here.
So is the team exploring AI? Because I understand your solution. Obviously, we have talked
Everything
in
that
past.
we do is AI.
Okay.
Like essentially to figure out what is in an image,
Yeah.
that to a video image, is a very strong AI.
Okay.
Anything to do with video where image is a solved problem, but moving image is a very tough problem.
Okay.
Even if you've seen, even in a chat GPT,
Yeah.
generationally, where you are actually creating generative AI, chat GPT hasn't been able to create a video, and they've just started and released it to very few people.
Yeah.
Because creating a video which is 30 images in a second and make sense of it and it not going wrong is a very tough technical problem.
Okay.
Right? Which is what we solve by doing what we are doing. And we've been early adopters of AI. We've been on AI for last 12 years, and that's
Yeah,
why
I
we
know.
are doing what we are doing.
Got it. So again, back to you, Harish, right? Since GBS said that that's the only way where programmatic channel is what they've used, right? Is it the only scalable way for, again, agencies to buy through Google's metas of the world? Or is there a way to make it more democratic? Or is it the scale which matters in terms of inventory access?
See, I don't know, programmatic is just a way of buying, and that's what we kind of take it as. In terms of segmentation, in terms of all the pieces that I spoke, right, relevant audience, what kind of content you have, that plays a very critical role. And at the same time, I mean, be it direct or programmatic, it's more hassle-free is what I would say, doing it programmatically. There are multiple things attached to it. You get your money on time as a publisher because that's what keeps the engine running, right? The other piece is you don't have to every day keep coordinating on reports, smaller parameters. I mean, that's been taken care of by the system itself. So those are certain things that ease up. But what challenge you might be facing from is purely from a pricing standpoint. You might be not getting the yield that you're looking for. That's purely because you would have set a floor price which is way lesser than what you are expecting it to deliver. And that's where you try and kill your own format, kill your own platform, and then say the agency is not helping you out. So
I have a very interesting anecdote, by the way. When you become large, which is what we are right now, and there are silos. So one day it so happened that there was our marketing team trying to put ads to sell Hippie as a platform. On the other hand, that was the day he helped us start programmatic on our platform. So that day, while our marketing team was spending, to people to know about Hippie, we had also switched on our programmatic in our app. So for a couple of hours, Hippie was showing Hippie ads, right? Now, why I'm mentioning this. So what we paid for it was 100 CPM, right? 100 CPM, right? What we got for it was 40 CPM.
This is very
60% gross margin to just do this intermediation for Google.
This is a
60%.
Important point, and I'll quote you at least in our future conversations, right? We've been trying to prove this, and nobody knows what happens. But I think I'll take this a quote official from you as well, GBS. But very, very interesting point. Devesh, what's your take on that? I'm sure you also realize that this happens, right? And which is why direct becomes so important to cut out.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely correct. Direct, every publisher wants more and more direct, so that there is no second thoughts about it. And even if you look at tech, right, so programmatic in India, CPMs are very low. If you talk about programmatic in US, the programmatic CPMs are very high. So publishers maybe are focused on writing more content for the US audiences. Or then again, so are we doing the justice on that side also or not? Because ultimately it's revenue that matters. So yeah, I think that's a valid point.
Got it. I think this is what we had, where we just wanted to bring few more thoughts from industry leaders in terms of what's happening on an app, on the agency side, on the large publisher. Like, how do you really, and is it possible to hyperscale revenues, right? From our experiences, we definitely believe we can, and we have seen that happening with a lot of publishers globally as well. But then there's a lot of deep tech which is involved, like Devesh was also mentioning. So open for a few questions from the audience for either four of us, if there's something that you really want to know more from an ads monetization perspective. Cool. That's it from our side. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.